Parental fatigue, burnout. If you're feeling this, we get it. But there's one thing we use when we're feeling depleted. It's called Rehydrate. Delicious electrolytes that increase blood flow to your brain, organs, and nervous system, boosting your energy without anything nasty. Magic.
Next time you're feeling flat, give Rehydrate a go. Available at Coles.
This is the Happy Families podcast with Dr. Justin Coulson. We are Luke and Susie, and this is the podcast for time-poor parents who just want answers now.
Lynette's asked a question, Luke. She said, my 2-year-old is refusing to sleep in his own bed. He insists on sleeping with me and refuses to go to bed until I'm going to bed. Screams the house down. If I go to bed when he's meant to be going, I get no downtime and often fall asleep without getting the dishes done, etc. Any suggestions on how to get him to love his bed again? Well,
I like that question.
It's a great question.
How do I get him to love his bed again? Whether or not we have an answer for you.
Well, we've brought in the expert, Dr. Justin Coulson, parenting expert from happyfamilies.com.au. How do you get a 2-year-old to love his bed again?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, as an adult, I just don't relate. Right, my bed is one of my favourite things in the world.
Totally.
What is it with these 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds?
My bed, my pillow.
Yeah.
Like we went on a holiday recently and we stayed in some wonderful places. Could not wait to get to my bed with my pillow.
Yeah, what is it with 2-year-olds? Look, I don't have a specific answer for how they can love their bed again, but certainly I've got a few ideas that can help us to calm our children and help them to go to sleep well. So let me go with a few of the obvious ones first. I'm sure that most parents have thought about this, but it's worth highlighting them anyway. So the first thing we need to consider is what we call sleep hygiene. What's the room temperature? Is it too hot, too cold? Is our child going to be comfortable? Is the bed nice? Is it dark enough? Are they scared of the dark? Do we need to have a tiny little lamp that's plugged in somewhere? We want to look at how much noise is happening. You know, they're big siblings that are running up and down the corridor or playing Fortnite in the lounge room and screaming at the screen. Is it conducive to sleep?
Yeah.
If we've got all those things happening, then the next thing I'd say is, how much screen time is your child getting? Because research tells us clearly increased screen time, especially close to bedtime, is associated with less sleep and poorer quality sleep. The brain's so stimulated. So that leads us to the next thing. Is there a nice routine? Do we have a nice calming routine? After dinner, is it bath time and cuddle time and singing and stories and all of those things that are calming and soothing? On a personal level, in our home, we've just started doing something kind of different. And I feel a little funny mentioning it, but let's do it anyway. We've just had a friend who got us onto those, essential oils are the thing at the moment.
Yeah.
And they gave us some oils and they said, try this on your kids. And so we've been just getting the oil thing happening, and our children have gone to sleep in about 2 or 3 minutes. With one of the kids, we put a little bit on their feet. With another one of the kids, we've just got a diffuser in the room. With another one, we just put it on their neck or, behind their ears or whatever. These oils are sending our kids to sleep. It's beautiful, and it's like the smell just calms them.
It's legal.
And it's legal. yeah. These are these things. I mean, it's beautiful.
Do you know what type of oil it is?
Susie's shopping online now.
I would have to check with my wife to find out. I know one of them loves this wild orange, and the other one loves lavender.
Okay.
So lavender oil and wild orange, different kids have different responses. But there's something about the smell. It's so soothing. Yeah. And it just calms them instantly. And so we found that to be an extraordinarily helpful thing.
Can we bathe them in this
stuff? Just go to sleep forever. So look, I think that's it. And the one other tip that I'd give is, when you've got a headache and you put your thumb on one eyebrow and your index finger on another one and you just kind of rub across your forehead, doing that with your kids, it seems to actually calm them. You put your thumb on one eyebrow, one of your other fingers, and you just stretch your fingers out across their forehead or their eyebrows, and it's really calming. And again, I've never read a great scientific paper saying that oils or a forehead rub will do it for you, but these are the sorts of things that parents consistently say help.
But Justin, you might get them off to sleep so beautifully well, and then you go to sleep and everything's appropriate and rosy until about 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight or 15 minutes after you go to bed or whatever it might be, and children of all ages coming in because they want to sleep in the bed with mum and dad, with whatever parent is there. And for me, that makes no difference. for Suze, that means she doesn't sleep a wink for the rest of the night, whatever time that is.
Have you noticed that little kids just chase you around the bed? No matter how close to the edge you get, they just keep following you.
Yes.
I got elbowed in the face on a king-size bed with a 7-year-old. And I was on the edge.
Get out of bed, Dad. Go sleep in my bed. It's one of those things where, I mean, part of me just... they're kids and they want to be close, and it's natural for them to want to sleep with us. And, tribally,
they do.
evolutionarily, that's what they did. Families slept together. And so in some ways, we're kind of fighting against human nature by forcing them to sleep in their own bed, on their own, in a room 5, 10, 20, 30 metres away from ours. That's kind of hard for them. I think we need to be as compassionate as we can. Of course, it's hard to be compassionate at 1 a.m. when you've just been elbowed in the face by a 7-year-old. You kind of want to elbow them back out of the bed. And so there's a couple of things that I'd suggest. The first is this. We've made a decision in our home that our children will not allowed to they won't be allowed to date until they're 16 and sleeping all night in their own bed.
Oh. I'm just trying to picture, 23-year-old, still not going out on dates, because I'm just not willing to give up.
Well, so far, I mean, we explain that to them from the age of about 2, and they all kind of figure it out by the time they're 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, you worked that out 8 or 9 years early. You're doing really well. but on a more practical note, there's a handful of things that you can do. The first is that you can just get out of bed and go and get into theirs. And with a couple of my kids who are just awful in the nighttime, that's what I did for a number of months. And let's face it, can I just be a little bit, adult for a second? If you want to have some enjoyable intimacy with one another, chances are that's done by 1 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock in the morning, all you want to do is sleep. You don't need to cuddle anymore. You just want to sleep. So get out of bed and go and get into theirs. If that's not suitable for you, you could consider putting a mattress on the floor in your room so that they can sleep in that, or so that you can. Or you could just pick them up and carry them back into their room and lay on the floor next to them and pat them back off to sleep and get back into bed. Look, there is no easy answer. Life sometimes is complicated.
Yeah.
Life sometimes is tiring. Life sometimes is messy, especially as a parent. And this is one of those things where they will grow out of it. The more fuss you make over it, the more anxious and insecure they'll feel, and the more you'll prolong it. The more accepting you are, the more compassionate you are, the more gentle and loving you are, the sooner they will figure it out, the safer they'll feel, and you'll sleep all night.
How you feel, Suze? Because it doesn't impact me because I sleep all the way through it.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with all of that. Yeah.
So what does that change what we do? Do we do anything different?
No, I don't think we need to do anything.
I just need to take the cues because
otherwise Susie's just going to start kicking you out of bed. Here's the problem though. Even if you do that, you'll still get chased around the bed. You've got a whole king size bed, and they want to be right next to you on the edge.
Dr. Justin Coulson from justincoulson.com.au. Thank you so much.
If you enjoy the podcast, please take a moment to rate it on iTunes. When you do that, it increases the visibility of the podcast and helps more people to find it. And if you're not a subscriber, jump onto Apple Podcasts and subscribe so that you can hear every episode as soon as it is uploaded. For more information on all of Dr. Justin Coulson's books, programs and podcasts, go to happyfamilies.com.au, or if you'd like to have Dr. Justin Coulson speak at your school or event, go to justincoulson.com.